Yeah. Bear in mind, I've never presented anything in my entire life, so I expect the questions instead of me just talking about myself.
Sure. Yeah. We're string.
Let's go. So, for my assignment, I decided to make a racing game in space. Where you accelerate with the space button. You accelerate even more when you go into the rings. And the goal of the game is to reach that line right there before the other ships, which are somewhere around here. And after you've done that, you loop around. And in the upper right corner, there is a best lap counter that you can see. That's how long it took you to get to the goal after you respawn on the start of the stage again. Right now, I have no idea where I am. Yeah, and this best lap can actually easily be broken if you just run straight up into this crush ring and don't do anything at all. You will reach ridiculous speeds that will never stop, and this field of view will actually just keep on getting distorted forever until it eventually loops back and the field of view becomes inverted, and then eventually it will invert back again, and this will just continue infinitely. That speed counter that you see down in the corner is actually, it's real. It's not some bullshit number that I made up. It's that's how fast you're actually going, and it will increase with every single boost power that you get, which is like 4 seconds per ring that you hit. So this will just continue to get even crazier and crazier as time goes on.
Engage warp speed.
And right now, my best record is on 0.6, 0.5 seconds. And
is the x-coordinate looping around again?
Yes, it's looping around when you reach, I think, 3,500. The goal is at 3,000, so I'll let the player play around a little bit before the race starts again. And if you paid attention the first time around this, it said winner in the top. That's because there were some ships that you were racing against, but they don't respawn when you respawn. They'll just keep on flying away. So right now you're just racing against yourself like some kind of loser. And if you were to do this, you would go way out of bounds. And if you were to do this, the game will tell you that you're going the wrong way. And this boost power, it's going to keep on going for like, what's 4 times 23? That's how many seconds it's going to take before it stops. I can't control this. I really can't. Also, the player, he's going to keep on glowing more and more and more the faster he goes as well. And you see, he's starting to get distorted too. I think that's because he's way out of bounds right now.
Yeah, you're probably having some floating point errors.
That might be it. And it becomes more and more messed up the further I go into the z-coordinates.
Yeah, it's normal since floats get less and less accurate the further away from zero you are.
Yeah, this is disgusting. Oh. Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, so the ship is controlled with the mouse.
It has a certain aesthetic, to be honest.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, from a, I don't know. Depending what you want to make, but there's, huh?
Should start making games out in the really long distance away from the origin. Just to get this aesthetic.
It kind of reminds me of Minecraft.
I mean, there's potential there, I think.
Like the 4 lands. This is scary.
What?
Nice.
Yeah, this game was originally intended to be made in 2D, but I decided to rework the idea for design. And you can stop completely too, if I want to. But I have to keep the button down. So it's always moving. It's a little bit faster here.
Is there any way for changing lighting or something?
Yeah. Changing lighting?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a very dark theme.
Well, the faster you go, the more you start to glow, and you can see the objects start to reflect that lighting as well. No, I tried to have some global lighting that would make it look a bit brighter, but it didn't work out for some reason. think there were some render issues. Yeah.
So I didn't get that. How do you get it to glow more? Like, are you changing the texture or material properties or the lighting?
It's the lighting. I believe it's. Shit, I can just look the color now. Which one? So I decided to render it all in just the main file because there were so few objects to deal with. Let's see. It's a diffuse, and it's duration times 4. So it starts to glow a little bit blue.
Okay, so you.
So this will just keep on going infinitely.
Okay, I see.
It goes a little bit red when you accelerate with the space button too, but that's noticeable when, the white.
So do you have fun lighting here?
The other what?
Fun lighting?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I just use the normal point lens. I follow.
Oh yeah,
the
you
tutorial.
have fun lighting. I can see from the code.
Alright. Then I guess I can-
Specular, diffuse, ambient, yeah.
Yeah. That's it for the game, really. If you want to look at the code, you can do that.
So you didn't use imagery. How did you approach the UI elements and text?
Oh yeah. Let's take a look. This
That's
does not
quite
look
a
right.
unique approach, I think. Just
Is it?
looking at it.
Well, yeah, you
Okay.
can see it here. Yeah,
So it is
I,
imagery.
I imported a special font that I think will look nice because the normal one's too small and look a bit generic. So I put some flags, a lot of flags. No background, always resize because the speed in particular will go outside of the window eventually. It's kind of I don't know why these red lines are here right now. They weren't here 5 seconds ago. Yeah. So this was added post delivery actually. I guess I'm not from working with that. Yeah. Originally there were no video because I kept getting second decimals. Yeah. Just feel like I had to mention that.
The font?
The font? Let's see. Where was it? Font. Here it is. It's Rocket Fuel.otf. It's just some free fonts that I liked.
Yeah, well,
And I set the size as well.
it's definitely noticeable.
Yeah.
It contributes to the atmosphere.
Of
So,
course. Nice speed.
so looking at structure of the code, right? How much time did it take to kind of refine and modularize the code?
Refine and modularize. Wow.
I mean, from the outline on the right, I get the impression that your main file is,
The main file is where most of my junk is now.
yeah, so it's long, right?
I think the render loop itself like 600 lines long. Yeah, it's that long. If I were to have more laps or more stages, I would put it in other files since it was just one stage, like a demo basically, and we just
Yeah.
have it here.
So the only thing there is, of course, more modularity can better depending on what the objective is. Of course, that's sensible realization. Thinking ahead again, exam, right? So, and how far is that? Are you comfortable with this arrangement? So, if you feel that the modularity is sufficient for actually changing content while keeping an overview, basically, right? So that's something you want to bear in mind with respect to your.
I think it will be hard for me to change if I have to like start putting everything in a separate file.
Yeah, well, that's everything. Everyone has a preferred mode that is not primary.
Because right now I have like, here's my main goal, there's some other ships, yeah, here's the rings, right? Yeah. There's the sun suits that you can see in space sometimes. There's some nano suits too, but they're kind of dark so you don't really see them.
Can you talk about your architecture if you've given any thought to that?
I started following the Learn OpenGL tutorial and then it just kind of went my own way after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would it be easy to change your code to do something else than this game?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I primarily make 2D games in my spare time, so I'm not really experienced with this, but I don't think it would be very hard to remake all this. Yeah. If that answers your question.
Yeah, I was more thinking about, do you have like a scene hierarchy? Do you have any game objects, like components, that kind of thing?
Oh, no.
No, okay.
No, this is all just me doing things.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I can see some like things related to sound. Did you manage to get sound working?
I did not manage to get the sound working. I tried to use Clang.
Yeah,
I also tried to use a single header file. I guess I'm just too stupid to understand how a single header file works. So no, I was gonna put some Star Fox music or something and to really get that atmosphere going, but I didn't manage. So I didn't.
Did you manage like link the library, like just because Clang? I think all you have to do is just include and then link it. Then we should basically.
I got segmentation faults there too.
Oh.
Every single time. Which one? Oh yeah, I used dr.mp3.h. Recommended to me by Framework. Yeah.
Oh well.
This I didn't get to work either. Yeah.
The background texture, like the space with stars and stuff, is it the same all the time, or does it kind of gradually change?
It's a static skybox. Yeah.
It's a cube map, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Let me find it. Yeah. This is a skybox. Well, that's the textures for the skybox at least. I want to look into where exactly the skybox itself is. There's a URL for the skybox. Yeah.
What library did you use to load the textures?
Shit, I don't remember. No, I actually don't remember what I used to load the textures.
Okay.
I loaded the models with ASIN.
Yeah.
SQB image header file. What is that?
Yeah, probably.
STBI image.
Yeah, because I followed the run OpenGL tutorial and then I branched off with my own thing. I think I got that file from there. Yeah.
Check that is your repo publicly available?
Should be. Maybe. Probably.
Isn't quite because we don't have access to the repo. As you have access to
I'll fix that later.
yeah.
Well, you can fix that later. There's no rush. It's just
Yeah, originally I linked a Bitbucket repo, but I actually got GitLab to work, so I just kind of changed that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And please also make sure that the username is your NTNU ID.
It is.
Yeah.
It should be. Anything else?
Anything else? Anyone else? Question? Everyone happy?
Oh yeah, actually there is a pause menu as well. But, but I don't like this pause menu because, let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. So the thing is that the ship snaps to where the mouse is. So if I do this, it gets all weird. There was also a menu at the start of the game, which was basically the same thing. But again, it snaps. Like, where am I now? Right? I should be all the way over here or something. Yeah, a little bit up, a little bit no, okay. Fine.
And that high score, like best lap,
Yeah.
it how do you calculate that?
It's
Or
I have a duration value, which I put into a temporary value.
Okay, so is it longer you play, you have like
the
higher
longer it
score?
takes for you to get to that line right there. That should be lap, which can get ridiculously fast times. Originally, the speed was going to be like an unsigned double. But
Ah, okay, so it's a,
ridiculous.
so it will go down.
Yeah, it goes down
As you
because
go,
your speed
okay.
increases.
But I mean, like, if you close this one and restart the game,
I didn't
does
think
it
that was,
save it somewhere?
No. I didn't think that was necessary because it makes a ridiculously low anyway.
Okay, so it's the best lap within your current game.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if I were to do this again, I would, of course, put the rings somewhere else rather than almost right next to each other. Okay. First.
Yeah. Have you thought about like adding UI elements that points in the direction of the goal of the rings?
I have, yeah. I wanted to have like an arrow maybe that would point you there, but I didn't. Go.
How do you detect if the spaceship is inside the rings?
Oh yeah, that's pretty simple actually. There's like a small invisible cube, and if you're inside of that cube, or well, if the player's position is inside of that cube, then boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a small delay so that you won't get like 300 boosts when you're inside for like a second. Yeah, that's how it works. So I think that's why the boost power isn't actually increasing as much as you see the rings appearing right now. It's because of that delay.
Yeah.
Either way, it will still keep on increasing infinitely. Actually, I have it written right here. Somewhere.
So you don't have highest speed limited somehow. So it will eventually crash if you just leave it
Yeah,
running.
Yeah, that's right. So the fact that you can basically break the game like that, I thought that was just fun to show. I'm of course not going to make the game possible to program like that later. Yeah. It's kind of like a bug or an exploit, I guess. It's a fun one. So this game actually runs much slower on my desktop. I've probably mentioned this before actually. So here, in this version, one ring will get you to the goal and a little bit further. But on the desktop, it will get you like halfway. So you need to get through more rings and stuff like that. So there's a bit more actual gameplay to it. Right now, the rings are kind of like cheating. I think it's because my speed is limited to CPU time or something. And this desktop is much faster than the one I have at home.
So a slower computer will get you to the goal faster.
Probably. I think so. If I had a local machine, I could test it. Yeah.
So what's your main focus in this project?
Go fast, have fun.
So more in the sense of is the focus architecture or is it gameplay or is it
Oh, gameplay, absolutely. Yeah. To be frank, I don't really care about graphics whatsoever. Yeah, that's why you have nano suits and stuff like that. Like, the goal is just a row of nano suits. Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's something there you can still exploit. Magnificent video in the sense that it's bad.
There's also some code for procedural generation here, actually. It doesn't work. Well, I mean, it does work. It doesn't work the way it's supposed to. But it does work.
Did you try something or
Yeah, so every like 200 units in the x-coordinates, a new object will spawn like 100 units in front of you. And
that's it.
yeah, it was supposed to be like an array of objects. Yeah, this one doesn't do what I wanted it to do. So it made just one new object, which would just respawn further away if I got to it, because I would reach that new threshold. So it just would really can't. Yeah, I think that's it.
Sounds like a sensible. Cool. Thank you very much. that's the only thing.
Oh well, is it the BPROG one or the GitLab one?
Right, that's it, right?
Yeah, that's more or less it. On Friday, we will meet in this room around like 11:15, and we will introduce what is the task for the exam.
Yeah. So 11:30 sharp, we'll talk about it, but let's meet a bit earlier, so I want to ensure people on time. Because if you're late, well, you're late, right? So then you may miss out on important aspects. So be on time, please. Because we want to try to start around 12. We will not be like needle sharp. It's a few minutes over. Don't worry, it's not going to be a time. If you sharp it early, you're lucky. So you know that. The point is, one thing about the 72-hour exam is that it should not be 72 hours long. That means it should not spend 72 hours of your active working time. If you think that's what the exam is roughly about, then we're in trouble, and I get into trouble with NTNU in the first place because it's against Norwegian labor law to have you work 24 hours at one.
The expected workload is probably like 8 hours every day, possibly a bit more, like 10 maybe.
Yeah. So, well, of course, I leave it to you to moderate this, but that's roughly one of the angles. Of course, you need to get it done. So, you know, we are in IT, so we're crunching a bit here and there, right? It's while there's an average, the average, you know, in shorter time frame doesn't quite work out. So, of course, in the take-home exam, it's to some extent an assessment of your skill, but also of your time management, because there will be tasks in there where you definitely need to do some research, because we may not necessarily have talked about it in class. You need to see how much time can you expend for doing that, and how much time do you actually want to do hack stuff, and see how far you get, right? One of the reflections that I would also share is that actually, no, your reflection that I want to reiterate over is the idea about planning. So even though you know you may not necessarily get something on the screen quickly, you probably have considered value by doing some thorough planning, you know, early and laying it out. Perhaps use the paper. Yeah, paper exists. I know. We don't use it in this course or in this degree, I have the impression. But I think it's helpful to do some planning of your work before you actually attempt it. And then if you know your framework well enough, then it shouldn't be terribly hard to realize something within your framework abilities. We were discussing whether we give you some discretionary component, meaning you can actually choose between different tasks, not different exams, but tasks within the exam, to see that you have a bit of customization opportunity. We'll see if we can maintain that idea. So it has certain advantages, but also certain challenges. But the point is, there will be something for everyone in there. Yeah. So even though you feel, oh, I have no clue what to do here, so then there's other aspects you can focus on in the exam. Generally, the expectation for the complete exam, of course, will be highlighted again on Friday more specifically. But it's those exams, in terms of the requirements, are a bit of like optimization problem, right? So in many cases, you will not be able to finalize everything. And I think last year I didn't make that clear enough, so people were actually kind of with different interests to some extent, and this will focus in the individual projects. So and that is naturally will be reflected in the exam as well. We take this into account. Plus, there will be the oral exam that corresponds to your exam. So there was the question, how far can we have other people help us? Yeah, well, you are alone to some extent. Or shall we go to 72 hours? There's a natural distance, no internet, right? That's the right. No, of course not. So take home exam is literally, but like you can take your exam home, right? So you can do it in any place you like, right? So of course here as well. But home is of course an option as well. So we can't necessarily really control what you do, how you receive resources. And of course you can use Stack Overflow with the, there's no problems there. I mean, third-party resources are fine. If you get someone else coding your stuff, yeah, better not, right? So because in the end, part of your oral exam, purpose of the oral exam is also to dig into your code and actually see if you do it yourself, right? Do you understand what's happening there? You kind of want to know what's happening there. You need to know your framework. And you need to know what you've coded. You can't just say, well, I did this before the exam, therefore I don't care anymore. That's not going to happen, right? Anything that you inject or introduce into the exam is something you could be tested potentially, right? Even though it may not necessarily all complete your code, meaning if you use one load from elsewhere, well, It doesn't mean that you need to understand the guts of SIM, but you need to understand the interface, what it supports, what it does, and so on. So much about this. Be fair, right? Be sensible. Of course, if someone else that does the exam for you will likely figure it out, but even if people help, then you may be lucky or not. So don't play that game, I guess. But internet resources are permissible. The idea is pretty much that it's a bit more like rapid prototyping in a sense that we have very limited amount of time, and get maximum output there. While we look at code quality as well in terms of use appropriate constructs for the modeling and so on, language features and commenting documentation. There will be certain enforcements in terms of documentation, of course, with respect, for example, the README that we provide. But it's a prototyping output, so it doesn't need to be like super polished, right? So that would be very unsensible. That's something we expected rather in the assignments. Bear that in mind. So the mode of operation is slightly different here. And I mention all that because this exam, so after the exam we will have an evaluation session, and I can tell you already, in the evaluation session there will be two things that will be said. Number one, there's too much in the exam. Number two, the exam is too long. And that's fine. It will come, that's fine. The probability is 1, I think. But it's still important for you to go through that experience, right? Because it's unique. You only have this course having the 72 hours take-home exam. And we want you to get that experience in a way, right? You have those game jams and so on, but they are slightly less harsh, and they oftentimes you're more in a group, or more likely you're in a group setting, and the topics are more diverse. But here is really focused on one topic, you alone, and you need to show how much you know about in programming, right? So it may feel a bit challenging and unique because you will not have that had this kind of approach before, and you will probably not have it afterwards. But see it as a learning opportunity as well. Because last year there was also some feedback that people found it kind of rewarding in a way to have that kind of intense session, because you learn kind of a bit about yourself, right? Not so much about programming only, but also about how you approach like those projects. How do you manage your crunch time, right? So those are things that you kind of do because you do it before every assignment, but perhaps here in a more structured fashion, which people said. Anything else I should mention in preparation for now? Or we'll find that on Yes, I need to book this room. So the intent is that you have this room here at Avail on Friday and on Monday until 12. Right, it's 12 to 12. I think that's the negotiation David had with you. And so you should be able to access those rooms anyway. You should have access to those rooms, right? Even in weekends and stuff, right? Yeah. Just check that if you want to work here. Of course, you have the freedom to do that. Part of the reason why we're doing that on the weekend is number one, you will not have other course obligations. Number two, the rooms are free. So in fact, on the weekend itself, it should be very unproblematic to use any of the rooms you can find. As far as I'm concerned, what else, right?
So on Friday, you're booking this one till the end of the day, right?
The idea is that to book it on Friday on the end of the day and on Monday until 12, right? So to have the closing and the opening here. Yeah, please.
Would it be possible to see how previous exams happened?
As in what?
Like, can we see like what previous exams were like?
Yeah, you saw one. By Permont, for example.
Yeah, no, like actually like the exam like task. Is it not written down somewhere or?
Yeah, I need to dig it out. I'm somewhat hesitant because there are overlapping components potentially, right? So that's why I'm hesitant to give it out freely. But the most important thing is that you will need to deal with the features is key. Lighting, model loading, textures, right? Game loop, user interaction. And this was the delineation, so in terms of fairness that we had last year as well. That's the only thing you know. And that should be technically enough to attack the task. I would like to pick that up in the evaluation session afterwards, but at this stage I'm hesitant to give out the previous exam because for potential I want to avoid that you guys spend time coding against the exam as opposed to generalizing your framework at this stage, right? So right now it's about making your framework generally usable, and 72 hours is to use it as fast as possible. If you have a decent framework, quoting Per Morten here, you could be done quite quickly, right? So relatively quickly mocking up whatever you have. So that's part of the task you actually should focus on. I don't want to start people engineering against the potential solution.
What happens if you like fail the exam?
You take it again. Yeah.
Do you have to do like the previous assignments as well?
No, they will be counted. That's fine. You can take the exam itself again. So it's two components. You have the take-home exam and projects components. So there's two different marks. So no, that's not damaging you. I'm fairly confident that all of you that you are here have passed exam 1, right? Assignment 1 and submitted. Yay, nay, yeah, roughly, about, yeah, good. Yeah, better do that. So, as far as the work will concern, you will all have passed the internals, I can say that tentatively without giving concrete marks. So if anyone is wondering, hey, should I actually approach the referee exam? Yeah, I hope, yes, definitely do it. So that's one of the uncertainties there, because it will take us a few days to do the marking, even probably beyond the Friday, unfortunately, simply because it's so tight and we need to look into code and stuff, right? So, but that's so basically you have 2 marks. We have the internal assessment, which is the assignment stuff that is done now, and then the external assessment, as it's called, which is the actual exam, right? It's worth 60%. Correct?
Yeah.
I think 60, right? You guys should know. Right?
Yeah, it's like for assignment 1 is 10%, assignment 2 is 30%, and the exam is 60%.
There you go. That's
But is there like some internal exam threshold, or it's just like overall? For example, if they have 40 out of 40 in assignments and then get 21 in the exam out of 60?
The exam needs to be passed. It's a separate component.
Okay.
So we have that expectation, and the exam will be modeled in a way that is feasible. We expect, the key thing is, in the assignment 1 and assignment 2, you all have the options to benefit from, well, social learning. You work together, you keep programming, all that kind of stuff. Exam is a bit on your own. We need to assess that you are individually able to produce something, not equivalent to assignment 2, that's too much, of course, but a decent piece of work using graphics programming standards, best practice, and so on, individually. That's the thing, right? So otherwise people get through the course potentially, I'm not suggesting that, but potentially without actually being as proficient as they should be after having done this course. Because the natural progression of this course will be game programming, which I understand doesn't technically require graphics, right? Or does it? I don't know. Anyway, but it's very helpful because you will have a much better understanding about the underpinnings and some of the concepts that are used in Unity, even though we may not necessarily explicitly teach Unity, but game programming you will learn more about it from Richard, because he uses professionally. But then all the graphics concepts will make much more sense, and it's just important to entrench those, and we need to know that you learn those. That's hence the exam. That's the idea. But it's not meant to test you out, it's meant to just assess that you know, that you have absorbed the skills that David and others have.
And if there is anyone who has not selected the slot in the
Yes.
Google document, please do so. For the oral exam.
That's important. Do that early.
Is there people that hasn't yet?
Sorry?
Are there people that hasn't taken a slot yet?
I don't know, because there are like 15 people, but there are like some slots remaining, so there might be someone.
So it's sometimes unclear how many people are actually, committing as well, right? So we want to know, because of course anyone taking the oral exam, we assume that all of those attempt at least the exam itself as well, right? The take-home exam. That's the key thing for us. A good way of gauging, also timing and so on, managing certain things around it. So we want to know. Ideally, we want to know that early, so we can organize our timing and also organize our view of your work, right? Because we will do that roughly in order of your scheduling. So it's quite important.
Yeah,
Timing is tight.
I don't know whether anyone's watching the stream now, but like theoretically it's possible that the people who kind of never showed up on the lectures come to the exam directly.
That is possible, yes. Especially from last year, so that's very sensible option. Yeah. Good. Good call. Any comments from your side? Experience-based? Yeah. Charge your batteries, the physical ones, the laptop ones. Bring, drinks and other needs for yourself. Sleep well before, because you may not have time to go in.
Sleep at least one of the days.
All right, that's the practical reflection, please.
Yeah. Like, don't stay up for all of the 72 hours, because that's just.
Yeah, that would probably be like, you would get more time on the first day, but it would have diminishing returns pretty quickly since you don't get sleep.
And in particular, absolutely, in particular with respect to graphics, right? It's just so taxing, right? So because you need to be really, I think at the top of your game kind of thing, right? So to ensure that you don't really, a minor refinement that doesn't quite work out the way you want can be the difference between making and breaking things, right? Whereas in other cases, it's usually more continuous slope, which you climb and see, cool, in mobile doesn't quite work, let's fix that, let's, review the shared preference, that's fine. But here's usually can be quite a bit of a drama. So yes, sleep, Per Morten said sleep the first night, in fact, in particular, so because that's where you need it most. And I think one of the things is they recall planning. Planning also works at night, not you doing it at night, but when you're reflecting over it when you sleep. The next day you have a relatively clear picture if in the first evening you have a good understanding of what you plan to do the next upcoming days. Because naturally you will crunch it towards the end as well, as usual, people do that. So ensure you get enough sleep, that's super important. Yes, that's good point. Yes. Also, learn to manage your frustration levels, right? Can be really frustrating, something is not getting going, getting done. But then take a break, go out, walk, whatever, and come back to it. You have 72 hours, not to use the 72 hours, but to get stuff done within those 72 hours, however you manage. So it's awesome. Yeah, good point. Is there anything else you want us to suggest? Good. So, he said, sleep the first night. If you need to stay up a night, stay up the last night. Right, so good. One thing we'll also expect from you as part of the submission, which is but not problematic for you, will be that you make a video of your outcome as well. So you have the opportunity there to put to highlight to highlight the features, some of the aspects, the best aspects of your work as well. Because again, I mentioned it's an optimization problem, meaning you can't necessarily take all of it. Not everything will be beautiful. Some things will be a bit hacked. Show us what is really good. You can do it in the video. The video does not need to be made within the 72 hours, but can be handed in within the time frame. I think we usually extend to the next following day's evening or something like that. That's not no pressure there, just as a preparation.
So it can.
Does this include funny bugs that might appear?
Why not? I think honesty doesn't hurt. Put it this way, right? So if you make a video under the motto "what I should have not done" entirely, right? So that is probably not in your favor. You want to also highlight the pros of it, but it doesn't hurt to be honest about the shortcomings. There will be shortcomings, right? So it's very natural those things. But it's also an opportunity to try if you have nice effects you're exploring. Use shadows explicitly, or have advanced lighting models, or physics-based rendering, or I don't know. And you want to show that off a bit. Similar as you had the opportunity here now in the assignments, I think it was really nice the time you took to kind of show up certain features and plan for it. And do the same there, right? So bear that in mind. Again, I'll talk about it on Friday, but just you can bear that in mind already when you're writing, when you're planning as well, or when you're reviewing your code to see, okay, what are nice aspects I actually want to highlight and want to be considered or discussed in the oral exam. Because the oral exam is also for you opening up the scene and discussing about what you did. Cool. Other questions?
So yeah, the video you can prepare like between the take-home and oral exams.
That's correct. That's right. Yes, the deadline. There's a deadline, but it's just you can have a sleep in between and then do it. No, that's right. You plan, so you still need to do that. Timely. But there is not. It's not a time pressure. It's more like appreciating the result, I guess. No. Who's taking the exam? Good. Cool. Everyone still on board?
So yeah.
It would be a bit of a waste of time if you don't take it when you're like at the end. Like that seems like a waste of time to not take it. it's inefficient to have to try to take it next year, and then if you then are too busy with the bachelor and such, then suddenly you might have to use a 4th year, and that's just a waste of my time, really, to have 4 years for something that should take 3.
Well, but bear in mind, rationality is in the loop. So, yes.
Sure, but it's an illusionary life anyway, so.
Exactly. So, it may not apply to everyone. Different people may have different motivations for doing it first time. I'm just asking, basically, right? So, it can also be for a different reason for prioritization of other courses. Cool, but I think then we have we are on the same page. You guys have until Friday to refine your frameworks, be comfortable with them, especially the larger groups, ensure that everyone knows like every feature of the system, roughly, right? At least know how to use it and understands it quite well. So you should take your time, perhaps sit together again and share, if you haven't done so already, share more details about your framework. You guys have an edge because, for example, you're working with 2 people on one framework. That's a straightforward thing, so it's not so much learning, but more fixing bugs to find or whatever else, right? And of course, people that have written the framework, they already have a bit of age, or not, they may have like certain features in the framework, but at least have the understanding of the framework. So it's a bit, so use your time wisely there. But remember, you still need to wrap up. How many of you are still working on mobile?
Ish, it's
Right.
mostly done.
Mostly done, mostly polishing that. Okay. Remember, I need to talk about this on Thursday, right? Yeah. So it's of course not. That's like this. You basically talk about the project. You use this one. It's not really hard. So don't be too concerned about it. Just saying that it might as well. So you have certain time constraints on that side. So you can't dedicate all the time for graphics, but the majority. So.
Yeah, I'm using some graphics. I'm going to look at them now after we finish that.
That is, that's your academic freedom. Cool. Well, I think we leave it at this. If there are no further questions, no further comments from Edward, no further comments from Albo, no further comments from David.
The assignment 2 has been like pretty impressive. So if you feel confident about this, then you should be good with the exam. No problem.
So one of the things that's really cool about this assignment 2 that none of you guys depend on. It's so funny. I mean, as far as I've seen it, from the ones that have presented and so on that we have assessed so far, or I've seen so far. That's pretty cool. So it means you like the curiosity thing, I guess, or direction a bit more than getting structured, fixed, specified tasks. Is the interpretation right? Or in hindsight, how many of you should have, or feel they should have done pack managed status?
I kind of feel like the opposite. I should have followed my interests even more.
I see. Okay. As in the assignment was too constrained.
No, yeah, not really constrained in the fine. I thought about doing Pac-Man in the beginning,
Right.
so like for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I started doing something else. Yeah, more expensive stuff.
Right.
I think if the first assignment wasn't Pac-Man, it would have been cooler to do Pac-Man the second time, but doing it twice feels kind of... It's not as motivated.
Yes.
It's cooler to have, if the second assignment was something else, like say was something else in a curiosity test, then something else would have been more attractive.
Yeah.
You get 3-dimensional Tetris.
That is a suggestion. The option number 1 should be changed to something else, right? So the original course originally was similarly modeled. The idea was they have a natural progression. So you move from 2D to 3D and use the same kind of metaphor. So it's to learn, that may become easier to basically get the concept because you get the model loading right already. You just need to discover the 3rd dimension and things like that. So from a scaffolding point of view, it can be cleverer. But I agree from an attraction point of view, especially especially if you have some experience already, then that will not necessarily be
we were like 6 groups or something this year, and no one did Pac-Man. How many groups were last year? How many of them did Pac-Man?
I think we had probably 9 groups or something. Can you check? At least 3 groups did Pac-Man last year. Quite a number. And
17 groups that are not here right now. We have 6.
Possibly. Well, this cohort is smaller, definitely. So we have quite a bit more drop-off this year. But last year, that did not, must insist though, it did not say anything about quality. The Pac-Man solutions we had last year were superior to some alternative modules. So we had incredible solutions in Pac-Man in terms of 3D, using shadows and so on. There's heaps of opportunities, advanced AI. The nice part about Pac-Man really, you can go crazy as well in terms of aesthetics or mechanics. Well, mechanics are a bit more predefined, but AI and so on. So there's a lot of opportunities to debug this. There was one group which is really cool. Unfortunately, you don't have a video, but they did. They challenged Pac-Man, and that you played Pac-Man, at the same time you could rotate the entire plane as well. So you had a rotating plane, and then you would still need to be able to play Pac-Man on that one. So it was really tough and taxing. You could moderate the speed and so on. So they had a kind of a meta game built into our second level of complexity, I guess, built into the game. And that was really, really interesting. No one anticipated this one. And of course, if you're imagining a first-person view in Pac-Man, it's also very attractive. So by no means will I minimize the choice of Pac-Man. It actually can be as interesting as any other curiosity model. It's just interesting that you guys went for something. So that's the comment. So it gives us the insight that we had quite a bit of that you like going a bit free and creative. So how many people did you have last year? Is that
There's 8 groups, I think.
8 groups? I remember 3 of them. So if we are 6 now, then at least 3 did Pac-Man last year.
Yeah,
Or 4 Pac-Man. So there you go. So 8 groups, 4 Pac-Man, so 50%. So it was an even split there. So yep. So one top there. Oh yeah, Per Morton comment. Remember to learn stuff in the exam. It's a learning opportunity. What he means is you may not know everything, right? So there is also, we factor in a certain research stuff, right? So you guys looking up stuff, learning about things you haven't heard of or plans used before. So don't worry about, it's not about crunching all the time, but it's a balance. It's an iterative approach where you learn about something, planning, right, that kind of stuff, for example. Don't feel that you waste time if you don't write code. Sometimes you're just much more efficient writing the code afterwards, and the code may just be better, right? So also that's part of the comfort you should gain doing this kind of thing, right? So that's a very good comment to put in here. So yeah, cool.
And yeah, as Christopher already mentioned, the exam provides enough flexibility opportunities to pass. So if you get really stuck with something, don't spend all your time on that. Just be ready to kind of switch on other stuff you can do.
Yeah. Well, leave it at this, I think.
Yeah.
How many people of you coming going over to Richard in mobile? See what he has to say. Good. George, are you up to date, right?
I have to talk with him because he has an exam soon, so I'd rather talk with him today than tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, because then I can continue working with him tomorrow instead of having to do what I could have done today.
Yeah. You need to manage him somehow. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, you're free to. But still encourage you to see some people there to see what Richard has talked about. I have no clue what he will talk about. So let's all be surprised together. But it may still be examinable, but we will see that on the line. Sure. That's it from my side.
Yeah.
School until 6 o'clock or no lessons.
I mean, again, they will be streamed anyway, right? So don't worry about it. I mean, you can watch it offline later on. But also, I think Marish plans to hold a review session for the exam anyway, for mobile, talking about mobile, but that hasn't been bumped up. More important is that you finish up the mobile project for first day, something to see there. Yeah, the other thing, how many of you followed my notification regarding the review system? Yeah, anyone? On yes, please. Sorry.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't follow it, but I've seen it. I got one of the things I'm supposed to check actually is the iPhone and the Mac, and I'm like, I do not have an iPhone that can run this, and I do not have a Mac that can do anything with this. What am I supposed to do with it?
Oh, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, I don't know how to do anything with that. I think I did say that you could do it over Discord, so that's a thing.
That's the thing, yes. Okay, that reminds me of another thing. So you can also state that you have to turn reviewing this, but interview. You can do as many reviews as you want, right? So that's a new feature. We want to try that out. Because we find that some people are some more willing to give as opposed to the feature to the class. And it balances up for many that don't. So that's the kind of, so we anticipate to factor this into the market as well. So you can self-regulate your market to some extent by reviewing others.
Right, so I can literally make my grade possibly be higher just by marking like 4 or 5 of them instead of 2.
Yeah, if your reviews are sensible, we will review the reviews as well. If you just put okay and you submit, good. Well, it's very much possible as well. But yes, of course. In fact, we also consider soft, but now nevertheless, for example, contribution on the issue tracker as well, things like that. So that, of course, if you're active there, it has certain implications regarding your interest. So, especially if we are between marks, that kind of thing. That's really helpful. So try it out. Let us know about feedback, because again, it's a bachelor project. They want a bachelor project next year. You may be in the goal of having a similar project, or any project relies on students testing or any testing. So be nice to them. It's kind of a reciprocity. So other than that.
Yeah, the last thing, the evaluation group of this course, yeah, so like bear in mind that we will have third meeting after the exam, so like just...
In the week after the exam, probably let's figure out a date, so we use the usual 4 people plus N. I mean, it doesn't matter, anyone can show up, but we had this original group, so we sent a invite out to them, perhaps post it on issue tracker as well, and if a few of you can show up, that would be cool, and then we can reflect on the course in its entirety. Again, we need to do that after the exam, because the exam is part of the course, and you need to give us feedback on that as well. So you can learn from it as we did last time.
Okay, see you on Friday.
Thank you very much.